Cosplayers, what's one cosplay you will never do again and why? My sis and I dressed up as Zatanna for a con. A guy asked to take our pictures together. Our boobs accidentally touched and he outright moaned. Joke's on him. I am flat cheated, so those boobs were filled with socks. Plague Doctor. The mask bent and the goggles fogged up. Fell way too many times. Pyramid Head. A whole slew of reasons ranging from it is very hard to move, eat, drink literally anything, and this is the complaint with just the head. Now add in a skirt dress like bottom and the sword. It is very uncomfortable to walk, hard to sit down, and if the weather makes a slight turn to cold you really have no way to put something on that doesn't look completely ridiculous. Bison. My costume caught on fire going too near a heat source and severely burned my legs, lower back, and butt. Those terrible had-open injuries. Ryuk or any Shinigami in Death Note because it was a lot of work for people to just think you were from Kiss. Haha, that's funny. I used to wear my Gara of the Sand costume for Halloween, and everyone kept asking me if my gourd was an M&M. Not exactly cosplay, but I went to a Halloween party as Waldo once. Terrible idea. Everyone wants you hiding in the back of their photos, and you hear haha I found you at least 800 times. Never again. Every time I see a Waldo at a con I always think dang, I feel sorry for that dude because I know he can't walk 5 featuring without someone thinking they are the first person all con to be like OMG I flew and yahoo. Professor X. The only reason I chose it was because I had torn my LCL and still wanted to attend the event, so I rented a wheelchair so I could get around the event. So many people came up and sat in my lap thinking I was just cosplaying as him. Thank goodness my friend's parents lived close and we went and grabbed ice packs that we threw on my knee so people would quit doing it. Creeper form Minecraft for Halloween. I decided to not cut armholes because creepers have none. Also the costume went over my legs and I had limited mobility. Slenderman. I got really into the craze back in the day being a 6 feet 3 inches skinny dude, and I thought of myself highly for having been a Marble Hornets fan car before the game was ever released. The issue is that I have a big head nose, so through the morph suit you just see all my features, including my dark brown hair and smooshed nose. I ended up having a sore nose for days, and the soles of my morph suit were extremely darkened from walking around in platform boots for hours on end. I still can't believe Marble Hornets was made in 2009 and looked better than the Slenderman movie we got. Rorschach. I saw almost nothing under that mask and couldn't enjoy anything. Dr. Roxo. Nobody wants to see that. Kakakayi. Real reason is while fun I have no place to put anything, no pockets, nowhere to store cash ID, and if it's cold, forget about it. Also, seriously, nobody wants to see that. I kept it screen accurate, no kid friendly steps, and I wore it to age appropriate events. Not to mention the costs for all the code to bring you into the proper Roxo mood. Also reeking like pee and constantly getting your butt kicked by metalheads isn't as funny as it sounds. Daft Punk. I decided to use a privacy screen as the screen part and couldn't see more than about 3 feet in front of me at certain mathematically significant angles and 0 degrees in other angles. Goku. Back in college I had long curly hair, and a girl who was amused by it straightened it and used hairspray to get it to stick straight up. Then I used black spray on it, though it was so big, I would have been better off going Super Saiyan. After college I chopped my hair, so impossible to do it justice again. You could be adult Gohan since he has short hair. Graffiti skin tracer from Overwatch. Paint kept transferring from the gas mask onto my face and my mask was literally dripping water from my breathing. It was hot and stuffy and gross. As somebody who used to have to wear a gas mask for work, you didn't get a proper face seal around the edges. If the frame is loose against your face at all, the air redirects towards the leak and the inside of the mask becomes insanely humid. That said, it's really uncomfortable and hot no matter what you do. It's probably safe to keep it on the never again list. One of the 300. I'll never be in that kind of shape again. I dunno. You can fake the hunch pretty convincingly. I dressed up as Robot Unicorn from the Flash game and got hit on by 5 French guys. I'm a straight guy. Also glitter everywhere. I'm a straight guy. To be fair, you were decked out in rainbows and glitter. I can see how that might be a mixed signal. Faye Valentine for Cowboy Bebop. Not because of awkward guy comments, but because of other lady cosplayers that would come up to me and talk about how Faye is a good starter cosplay because I guess it's not intricate enough. I got tired of the condescension. Cosplay gatekeeping. Recruit from Rainbow Six Siege. Everyone thought I was a terrorist and had to leave. Should have got 4 others and made some M870s. Then everyone would understand. TDKR Bane. I'm a bodybuilder and have a shaved head, so why not? Couldn't breathe. My lungs didn't care who I was until I took off the mask. Stormtrooper. It was custom made to fit me and I was so uncomfortable in it. It was hot and I couldn't see. I also would be lucky if I came out of it without cutting myself. Well, at least you now know why they can't shoot for crap. Darth Vader. Wore it for years in 2-hour stints. Vision is awful and zero skin is shown anywhere, so it's hot. Real hot. Lots of wiring for lights and sound mean there's always something that can, and does, go wrong. Lots of kids coming up and randomly pressing buttons on the chest. Plus the cape is hard to control. Now I keep him permanently displayed on a 6 feet 5 inches mannequin. Dang, that sounds terrifying to have at a house party. Just Vader chilling in the corner. I once went to a Halo convention as Church, from Red vs. Blue. Midway through the con, I had one of my friends pretend to kill me. I felt so bad for him, because everyone was screaming at him, "You killed Church, you team killing fricked. If I ever do it again, I'll claim to be Epsilon instead." Princess Zelda. I got a lot of compliments, but also an uncomfortable number of guys kept trying to flirt with me. It might have been even weirder if I wasn't a straight dude. Try Gerudo Link next time, lol. Lucy Heartfilia from Fairy Tail. So, the costume itself wasn't the problem. It's pretty simple to be fair, but it had other issues. Firstly, I have small boobs and the character doesn't. The amount of people that mentioned this was unreal. Secondly, the character wears a very short skirt. I had a few older men follow me and harass me because I was wearing it. Also, it was mid-October in the north of Scotland, so it was freezing cold. I once went as Natsu. My friend then wanted to go as Lucy, so we decided we'd just stick together the whole time to make the cosplay better. That deterred any creeps. But yeah, I can totally see that costume being a total pain in the butt. Lucy shows a lot of skin, lol. I did a One Punch Man cosplay at Comic Con. I crap you not, about an hour in, a guy that was playing one of the enemy characters from the first season. I believe the leader of the aliens that invaded on that huge ship. Came sprinting down the walkway and punched me square in the stomach as hard as he could. I unconsciously tensed my muscles up so that absorbed a lot of the impact, but if though it looks like I was fine, I felt like both my lungs had collapsed and about 3 ribs punctured my stomach. Lord Business from the Lego movie, or actually any Lego character for that matter. The head was too heavy, and I could barely move. Via Adam Savage. I have been told that puppeteers avoid having anything mounted on your head. Keep the weight on your shoulders and save your neck. Snow White. I wore it to a major comic convention and people would not let me walk. Parents were literally shoving their children into my arms and making me take pictures with their kids. Kids were flocking to me, only nice part, and parents were pushing each other around to take a pic with me and their child first. I was trying to take the shuttle to the convention and I had a small crowd around me that were barely shift so I could get into the shuttle. My boyfriend at the time had to literally yank me and run away into the shuttle because we almost missed it. The same thing proceeded to happen in the shuttle, off the shuttle and attempting to walk to the convention, and at the convention. After 2 more hours of this, I demanded we go back to the hotel so I could change and actually enjoy the convention. The worst part was people shouting, "I tease Cinderella. I tease Sleeping Beauty. No, people know I'm Snow White, dang it. Oh my god, I cosplay Belle all the time and without fail at least once every event I get called Cinderella." No face from Spirited Away, at least not in public. I was accused of racism, asked to leave the subway, then taken aside by a very angry subway security employee and had to frantically find a photo of my face to show him to avoid more trouble. In fairness, he then was very concerned and helpful and advised me to take the costume off before I got myself beaten up by someone. My hometown has a very big Arabic population, so I can see why they thought I was being an butthole. What with the black cloak, black paint on my arms and the gold painted pebbles in my hands. I mean, you can do it outside of your hometown at least. Shadow the Hedgehog. It was a mistake and I don't think I need to explain further. Out of all of the cosplays I've made, the most awkward is definitely Elma from Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. I've always worn her to summer cons and my horn would fall off every time. But the worst time was when it literally broke off and left residual model magic on my forehead. Also, the fabric I used for the tail stained my butt blue. Thanks Yahan. Literally any kid's character. Parents need to control their children at cons. The number of times I've had kids pull out capes or sneeze on my cosplay or whatever is infuriating. Edna, from The Incredibles. I am a short gothic lady and at the time had the same haircut as her. Went as her for a Halloween party and it's my nickname ever since. Especially when I'm angry. I freaking hate it. I was in middle school when the movie came out and I had her hairstyle. I was known as Edna for 3 years. Only my best friend calls me that now DX. Back when the Assassin's Creed games were in their heyday, I cosplayed as one of the assassins with a few of my friends who were also assassins. For example, one of us was Connor, one was Ezio, another was Edward, etc. I spent a lot of time on those costumes and the props, so I have no problem saying they looked good. We got a lot of attention, including getting stopped for literal hours at the PlayStation booth for pictures because a few other assassins joined and we had the whole family. The problem, I am a girl, and a short one at that. My friends who cosplayed with me are tall boys, so at the risk of looking like a pop vinyl next to them I had to wear boots with a significant heel on them to help give me some height. It was brutal. We only got tickets for the one day and it was hours spent on our feet in poses and we had to stop every few feet for pictures. Don't get me wrong, the pictures were awesome. It made all the time and effort worth it. But I was in absolute agony. At one point when we all took a bathroom break, I took off my boots and put my throbbing feet on the cold tile floor. Judge me all you want. It felt amazing. Thankfully, some people who wanted to take pictures with me noticed I was in pain and out of costume and just chatted with me and waited to take pictures until after I got the boots back on. I had to call it quits early on and missed out on looking around as much as I would have liked. Even trying to leave the huge convention center was slow because I kept getting stopped. When I finally got back to the hotel and took my boots off, I had huge blisters on the top of my feet, on my heels, everywhere. It ruined the rest of the weekend for me. A couple of years later I went as Lara Croft from the newer games and got to wear flat, greppy boots with a nice gel insert. It was heaven. Made a pretty great Solera of Astora costume with real chainmail and armor, and holy crap, after 6 hours of wearing that heavy butt metal, my back, shoulders, and arms were frickin' wrecked. If only I could be so grossly incandescent. Master Chief. Every Halloween at school I would wear an over-the-top costume, and for my senior year I wanted to go above and beyond. So I worked overtime to buy Halo 4 Master Chief armor. Only problem was that the armor pieces were made of plastic, so I couldn't sit completely down without breaking the thigh pieces. So I had to go through every class squatting over my seat instead of actually sitting in it. My legs were killing me at the end of the day. Also, my costume was very loud. The sound of plastic rubbing against each other was terrible. Now I usually go for smaller cosplay. This year I went as a vault dweller and I could actually move and stuff. You basically brought to live every video game that has both a crouch move and chair objects but don't allow you to actually sit on the chair. I now understand these games are actually more realistic than chair-sittable games. With Daumaka, I felt like my tea were gonna pop out of that suit at any second, and the body paint tattoos were always rubbing off cause of the suit and armor. Also, someone bumped into me and broke the end piece of my gun and a piece of my armor. It was so uncomfortable. Never again. It always seems so perplexing to me how people can up each other in designing the most inconvenient female character outfits. It's like they have to glue all the parts to the skin so it doesn't fall off, and I know for a fact how uncomfortable it is to have cloth stuck in your butt. Any version of Harley Quinn. Nobody knows how to behave around Holly. Not thirsty Harley fanboys. Not Joker cosplayers that are a little too in character. Not neckbeards who want to quiz you on your Harley knowledge. Not other Harley cosplayers who have an issue with what version of Harley you picked or how accurate your cosplay is. Every Harley I've met has been given heck for their cosplay for one reason or another. I only did Lego Harley twice and got minimal crap for it, but I've met multiple Suicide Squad Harleys who were literally suicide baited online and pushed around at cons by people who hated the character. Never again. This was my post as well as a Joker and Harley couple. Creepy dudes would hit on my partner when I turn away for a second. Dudes not in cosplay and Jokers trying to get their own Harley. And Harleys would behave poorly around me and not take a hint that the act can be dropped and we can have a normal conversation or not at all. The lusty Argonian maid. For obvious reasons. The costume was too much for me and now I'll live my life making inappropriate Todd Howard jokes, all while dressed as a seductive Argonian. I think cosplaying as a loaded toad would be way more fun. Charlie Chaplin. He's easily mistaken for another guy. And I can't even take my hat off, because if I do, I'm Hitler. Junkrat. Never again. The one time I went, I had my best buddy as Lucio. I mean, the cosplay worked perfectly. I have a prosthetic hand. Amputee struggles XD. Have a British accent. It sounds Australian enough if I try. And I stood at 6'3". My buddy had to keep people from touching my arm and asking if it was real. One time, I got so annoyed that I just took it off and waved my stump. Plus, the spray paint for the prosthetic was a pain to scrub off, and the wig was very itchy, though there was a group there with various other Overwatch characters and we had fun taking photos. Hamilton. Turns out prop guns look like guns that are illegal, especially dueling pistols. Got a problem, he can Alexander handle it. Nami from One Piece. It was a bikini top. Had a nip slip, which wasn't too bad, and a dude jumped in front of me, let me know, and covered me while I fixed it. The problem is that he then spent the next 2 days thanking me for the experience. Bro, one thank you is weird. 2 days? I suspect that dude is still thinking about that moment to this very day. Misa from Death Note. No one knew who I was supposed to be. Very cold cosplay in early spiring. Ariel. I love the Little Mermaid and I love the costume I made for her mermaid form. But it's just been a cosplay that creeps have ruined for me. I literally got to the point of having to pose-aid my bikini top to my chest and wear pasties in case someone tried to rip it off. I have been groped, had hands stuck down the front and back of my costume, been kissed, and have heard all of the sea-related dirty jokes in existence. I officially decided to stop after one incident at a local convention, where someone was trying to pull off my top and I slapped him hard enough for him to be thrown off balance. He fell into the water feature and hit his head. Police had to be called to figure out if it was self-defense or assault. I hung up my seashell bra and tail after that day. Jesus Christ, that is terrible. Not never again, but I was cast from JJBA at a con this month and I'm for sure putting that one away until the weather gets good and hot again. You have been visited by the happy baby pygmy murder cow. Back away slowly and subscribe quickly to ensure your safety. Thanks for watching. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.